Hello, everybody. This is Charlene Burke with Grow Because You Know. That's www.growbecauseyouknow.com. Welcome to Morning Mindset Cafe. Today we're talking about attitudes. And today is a special day. We are offering free attitude checks. Let's get you thinking better if your thinking is not getting you where you want to go. How's that? There's all kinds of different ways to talk about attitude, honestly. There's all kinds of little things that we could say that keep us going sometimes. But ultimately, the honest truth is that attitude, it's a little thing that makes a big difference. Big. It's more than just how you think about something or an opinion. There's emotion attached to an attitude. Please tell me, have you ever seen someone with a bad attitude and not had to hear a word out of their mouth, but you could read it in their body language? That's because of the emotion attached to it. You know, it encompasses everything. It's a word that simply describes how I am existing in the world today and how I'm communicating what I think, feel, and believe right now, this moment. What's my attitude? My hope is that when I have a great attitude, people can see it and that it's infectious and that it's something that's attractive. I know it is for me when I see it in other people. And a great attitude, to me, doesn't mean that you're exceptionally anything, right? Great attitude is, hey, how are you responding to the world around you? Not that you're lighthearted and joking and carrying on, because sometimes it requires a little more, right? But your attitude towards something bad that's happening to you makes a big difference and goes a long way to helping you get through it. And then we have what's called the attitude of gratitude. Hence why I always call gratitude a verb. Gratitude to me is something that can be seen in my actions. I can see it in yours. I can see it how you treat other people, how you approach projects, how you approach life. Again, it's all in the attitude. So the question now is my attitude attractive? Is what I'm thinking getting me where I want to go? To this point, yes. I've done a lot of work over the past few months to get my thinking on the right track. And what I mean by right track is success conscious. Thinking ahead while being very aware of what needs to be done right now. I'm reasonably happy, relatively content. There's hope. That's a part of the attitude that I have when it comes to being success conscious. All of that comes into play and really helps to make the setbacks, obstacles a little easier to handle. And that's about all I got. So I invite anybody in here who wants to jump in and say, hey, and talk about attitudes. Are you in need of an attitude check? That's cool. There's plenty of us in here that can share a different way to look at something. If that's what's needed, there's plenty of us in here to that are actually, if you've got a great attitude, would love to see it, because that can affect everybody here in a positive way. Yes, it helps to have great people around you, great people working with you. Yes, Brian, it does. Keeps me from actually having too bad of an attitude, doesn't it? And you know, that peer pressure can really come in handy here in the good way. Can lift me up and keep me on the right track, which is often what you guys do. You know, by coming in here, I get oomph. I get support. I get encouragement. I get to hear, you know, what's happening with you and your thinking today, and what it looks like. You know, and that supports me in my endeavor to continue with the success consciousness. So attitude, I gotta tell you, it's huge. One little bitty word, it's huge. And I agree, Brian, that coffee helps. Coffee, it's a beautiful thing. So it's interesting that, so the quote that's in the box now actually comes from Napoleon Hill. And another that comes from Napoleon Hill is that, let me go to the actual writings here. All right, maybe not. I wanted to see the rest of the story, and it was just the quote. Went to the wrong one. You know, there's something to the question of why is it that those who believe they would be the best managers of others aren't so good at managing themselves? How's that for a disconnect? And then oftentimes those that are great at managing themselves are suddenly put into positions to manage others and aren't doing so great. One thing that I like, Napoleon Hill says your true age is determined by your mental attitude, not the years you have lived. And I think it's interesting. He says, no doubt you've known teenagers who were old before their time. I was accused of that. I was accused of being old before my time. And then you have 70-year-olds who have the temperament and enthusiasm of discovering the world for the first time. Yeah, Matt, I see that in you. I see that. And it's not that we're cynics. All right? It's not that we're cynics. We have a tendency to think a little bit. And in general, from what I see out of Matt, which is similar to what I see out of myself when I was that age and growing, is that we tend to think things through and gain a bit of wisdom from what we're seeing rather than strictly react to things and be emotional and be drawn into things. I don't know. Am I right in that, Matt? If you find it difficult to keep an open mind because of previous experiences, remind yourself you're dealing with different people. Conditions have changed. Or because you're older and wiser, your chances of success are greater than in the past. I love that. You know, I'm older and I'm wiser. So while it appears I'm going to be walking into the same experience, it's not possible. It's not possible. Because I'm dealing with different people. I'm different. So while something may not have worked in the past, no reason why it can't work right now. Again, it's the attitude. It's how you see things. You know, but it's more than that. All right. So I'm just going to throw out to you. There's studies that have been done. Oh gosh, for forever. I'm not going to say forever. All right, for many years. And more specific studies are being done about how you can actually change your attitude through physical activity. I'm sure most of you have heard or experienced the let's get some endorphins through real physical activity. Let's go out and play some ball. Let's go out for a walk. Let's go out for a run. Clear the head. You know, dump the bad, get the good in there. do it on purpose, and all of that. So something similar, just not quite as extreme, if you want to call it extreme, you can do. So a recent study that I found interesting is when you are listening to something and you're not sure if you agree or not, you can affect the way you see something by simply nodding your head or shaking it. I want you to think about that. If you disagree with something, and yet you want to find a reason to agree, during the conversation, during the reading, during the watching a video, during the being introduced to a concept, during the revisiting of a concept, nod your head. Just nod your head while you're... Seriously, just nod your head. This could go back to fake it till you make it, but that's the first thing that popped in my head as I was doing that. But it's actually more than that, because you are taking in information, you are aware enough of your current attitude towards the situation. So it's one way that you could actually change your mind, physically change your mind without excessive effort. It really is that simple. Studies have proven that to be true. And then I'm going to go back to what Brian said about great people around you, working with great people. How can you change your mind if you're immersed in a group of people that you disagree with? Stay there and have an emotional attachment to what they're talking about on their side, and nod your head and keep nodding your head, and you can eventually agree. That's how we're influenced by other people, right? Does anybody want to jump in and talk about this? Yeah. Hi, Mike. Welcome. Let's get Matt in here.
I don't know how strong my signal's going to be.
Well, so far so good.
A little bit delayed because I'm uploading something, but it's still working pretty well. I didn't think that was
Not
possible.
bad.
You got like Netflix in another room.
Quick.
Like
Oh man, you're overloading the bandwidth.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. All right. So, what are your thoughts on this?
A bit delayed. Well, I just finished I just did a book review on like having an attitude of leadership when it comes to like a challenging attitude that challenges people. And the whole lesson of that book is like when it comes to growing a group of people as a leader, like what attitude should we have when we want to grow people? And the whole book focuses on an attitude of making sure that we have a vision that we're challenging our group to go forth. Like having an attitude of curiosity, I guess, is the goal. Like when we go toward a vision, we don't just want them to do the work. Like it's not, I mean, we want them to do the work and be disciplined, but the primary focus isn't the work. It's the vision itself that we're trying to achieve, the change that we want to make. So a lot of my attitude I try to instill in other people is more of a curiosity about what we're doing, more than a like, just do it because I said. Like, here's the compelling why of why we should be doing something. That's I've read Simon Sinek's Leaders Eat Last, and that's a big lesson I got out of that book. As a leader, we give a vision to people to pursue and not just do this because I told you.
Right. So what's the attitude you have while you're doing it? I mean, are you coming out with enthusiasm? Are you showing strength? Do you have an attitude of, I wonder, does this depend on gender too? That just struck me. I wonder if you have an attitude of strength and firmness and get it done kind of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what effect that has on your team versus the let's all work together, open, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're all here to collaborate, and that's all well and good, but get it done.
How does my attitude affect the attitude of the group of people that are in like I was thinking about like even where I work and when what my boss and his company does, he like goes around to all the people working and says hello, how are you doing? And he comes to us, you know. It's not so, and that's bringing his attitude of enthusiasm and curiosity out to everybody,
right,
instead of us always going to him. So like what I think about that, like even in the workplace, like what attitude am I sharing with other people? You know, like I think about this, I've told this before during lunch, when somebody brings an attitude of negativity to lunch and they all just sit there and spread that, and I don't want to be a part of that. That's the attitude. Maybe people are just unaware of the attitude they're spreading sometimes.
Well, if I get confirmation from somebody else's behavior that what I'm doing is acceptable, I'm going to continue to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So if I get into a whining battle, it becomes a competition of who has it worse. All right. Then I'm going to continue as long as there's other people that are encouraging it and continuing it. Right.
Yeah.
So can't the same be said of, yeah, I know it's easier, isn't it? It's so much easier. I was about to say, can it be said of the other attitude? And it's not, because sometimes it's very difficult to change someone else's attitude. Well, actually, Brian's saying the only thing worth whining about is bad wine. Yeah. And the cheese. I mean, whine because you didn't bring the cheese. And that's usually what I say. You know, when somebody gets into a whining mode, I'll do it at the pool hall. I don't care who you are. It just grates on me. I had to look over and say, did you bring cheese? I mean, if you're going to have a wine party, may as well bring the cheese, you know. Yeah. But seriously, where I was going was people are drawn like a magnet to the bad stuff. So,
misery loves company.
Huh?
Misery loves company.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to analyze that part. It's just amazing that they are drawn to that. So it's a struggle sometimes to maintain a really good attitude when suddenly you're seeing all these are surrounded, you know, going for the car wreck kind of thing. Let's have a competition about who has it worse. You know,
too is when I'm on the phone with people, sometimes I'll just have like a really good person on the phone or a really good phone call, and you'll get off the phone and you go, wow, like I feel so much better after that conversation. Yeah. And then sometimes you get somebody on the phone and you just tell they just don't care. They just completely don't even care.
Yep. Yeah, when I managed and trained customer service people, so many years ago, we called I called it PITA training. PITA, pain in the rears. That's what I called it. And I would tell them that, you know, let's walk through this. How do we handle that kind of customer? Because what the thing is, I always train them that if it really gets to you and you can't escalate, when it's done, walk away. You have to shake it off. You have to, because it will infect you. You know, and suddenly you're the PITA now talking to the customers. Not cool, right? And we've all had those. I mean, I had one from Verizon that was hysterical. Actually, I'm sorry, it wasn't Verizon, it was Frontier. It was an engineer. So I kept my mouth shut, and I'm thinking, I'm going to see just how stupid you think I am. And I sat there, I said, I just told him, I said, wow, you're an arrogant SOB who really thinks I'm that stupid. Honestly. See, it wasn't the network that was down. The plug at the server had come unplugged. Oh, okay. So he's going to have to go get somebody to plug it back in. Plug it right in. And he said, you really just said this to me. So I just, you know, I'm laughing all the way saying, and I did. I just called him you arrogant SOB. Really? Really?
Sometimes
It's a good thing these calls are recorded. You know, it's like,
yeah,
geez.
quality assurance.
Yeah, they don't care. That's just it. They don't care.
Sometimes I'll just sit there, like I'm eating lunch. I'll sit there and just listen to it, and I won't react, and I won't process, and I won't try to change anything. And there's a part of me, like, I think about this sometimes. There's a part of me that wants people to just not take themselves so seriously, like to come off of it, just to like realize how silly or serious they're being. And part of me wants to like stir them into ridiculousness enough that they'll just eventually not take themselves so seriously. So like somebody's complaining about something, and usually I'll have like a positive rebuttal. Like, you realize like water does so many great things for us, right? Like, and I'll just keep going and going. And sometimes it'll piss people off, and then I'll stop.
Because you don't want to play.
Sometimes they'll be like, you're right. Like, why do I do that? But sometimes they'll get a response by like, well, you know, water can kill you, right? And I'm just like, I'm out. I'm gone.
Isn't that funny? Hi, Brian. Welcome.
Good morning. So you were talking about whining, and
we did a little while ago. Yeah.
Well, sorry. It takes me back. My daughter, I told her to go clean her room.
Yeah.
And she
all know what's coming.
She was very young, and Daddy, I don't want to go clean my room. Daddy, no, I don't want to do that. And I said, did you hear that? She goes, no. Come here, listen. Did you hear her go, whine? And she just, I was right next to her ear, and I did that. And I said, now go clean your room. Yeah, growing up in our house, you did what you were told. And she cleaned her room. Anyway, I'm going to go get this business card done.
Okay.
You should tell her that like little trolls will come out in her room if she doesn't take all the things off the floor. And
so before everybody, you need to know, we all know that we have trolls that come through, right? And generally speaking, especially in Blab, I'm able to manage the trolls without too much difficulty. But I knew that there was something even better about managing the trolls. It was niggling at the back of my brain. So I started going through a closet. Actually, it's my armoire behind me that has all kinds of toys and stuffed animals and articulated things and just fun stuff, right? You know, I mean, I've got that's where usually my little aliens are. That's where my minion collection, you know, stuff like that. Right? So I want to introduce you to the troll. Not just any troll, people, not just any troll. The CompuTroll.
The CompuTroll.
I did not make this up. We knew about them way back. How far back? We are talking early 90s.
Oh my gosh. That's great.
That is, now, you now know. The next time, how's this for an attitude check? The next time you get annoyed by a troll, be it in Blab or any other social media platform, picture this. See, I'm not kidding. See?
There we go.
I know it's backwards, but it says CompuTroll, right?
Oh, we'll be able to stop laughing.
And that's what they are.
Yeah. All right. I'll leave that as my final thought, so that when I step away today and I hear about a troll, it's the first thing that's going to come to mind.
Okay. There you go. Thought you might like that.
I do like that. It's really good. All right. Have a wonderful day.
Oh, thanks, Matt. You too. It's good having you here.
Put the troll away.
Put the troll away. I just did. You have to sleep tonight. That's so anyway, I thought you might enjoy that. Right? How do you change your attitude? Instead of being annoyed, honestly, I mean, you got there's ways to do it, right? Imagine this little guy. Yes, that's what it is. That's a computer troll. That's an internet troll. Yeah, so why get all upset and annoyed when that's what you can imagine, and then just, boot them out, right? Just boot them out. Other people obviously influence my attitude. Sometimes I feel very, very strongly about something, and you can influence the level of emotion that's attached to the attitude. Sometimes. And if I have a bad attitude, I've come in here and you guys have helped me have a good one. Get me thinking about something different, right? Anybody else want to jump in and just say, hey, need an attitude check? Trolls bothering you? I got the answer for the trolls. That's one of my secrets. Honestly, that's why I have a closet, not a closet, but a armoire back there of fun things, soft things, articulated things, little animated things. Just to help keep my attitude up. Sometimes you just gotta laugh, right? Sometimes you just gotta laugh. So welcome back, Barbara. Good to see you here, Susan. Welcome. Anybody want to talk about my attitude? Well, waving right back at you. It looked like a salamander head with a lion mane. Really? Maybe because I know what it's made of. It's all natural. We got moss and pine cones and nuts. That's his nose. And, bark that's been fringed out. His cap, or what's right over his head, is a piece of bark. It's all natural here, right? Huh. Well, all right, Matt, if that's what it looks like to you, cool beans. All right, so if you don't want to talk about attitude, just jump on in here. Let's have a conversation about success consciousness. What I love about this is what I love. And this is what this quote is telling me. Failure comes to those who indifferently allow themselves to become failure conscious. So what that tells me is that there's a lot of ambivalence, right? Apathy, mediocrity. But success comes to those who become success conscious. So what does that mean? Being a little bit of enthusiastic about what you're doing, having a little bit of energy about what's going on and what you're working towards. That's where I need the other people around me to help keep that up, help keep me focused, because honestly, when it's long-term projects, it's difficult for me to sustain by myself a level of enthusiasm about what's happening. Now, this week, I'm pretty certain that most days I'm going to be up and pretty positive thinking and feeling really good. Why? Is because I have a workshop that's launching on Thursday and I've got registrants. Love it when people buy the stuff that I sell. Love it even more when it's live workshops, because not only do I get to meet them and get to know them better and really help them to accomplish something. That's why they came to me. I'm the one that knows how to do it. I'm going to train them how to do it. And then comes the real fun of watching them putting it in place and watching it work for them. And so I can get up about that. It's exciting to me. It's stuff I love to do. So it's easier to maintain a level of enthusiasm and success consciousness when something's working. I all for that. I get that. which is why it's so important that we do a daily check-in. That's the point of the Morning Mindset Cafe, because it's helped me to get to this point. You know? It's helped me to get over the bad attitude, the one that says, I'm tired. I just don't want to work that hard anymore. I know there's a point to what I'm doing, but dang, I've been doing it for this long. And when I say this long, you know, I laughingly tell people that I'm in the 8th year of business, and they tell me it takes 10 years to be an overnight success. So sometimes I actually think, holy cow, 2 more years. Then I say it to somebody and they laugh and they point out, well, you're already a success. In some areas I am. Some areas I have accomplished and I've succeeded. Other areas that I'm working on, of course, working towards. So all of that comes into play. Again, attitude has to do with the emotion you're attaching to the opinion or the thought. And honestly, I remember the indifference that came from being overwhelmed, the indifference that came from trying not to care because the struggle was just appeared insurmountable. That didn't work because I did care. And because I cared, I was able to struggle and get through, right? And accomplish and survive and thrive and all of those stuff that happens. But for me, I like this. I like what he's saying about if you're indifferent and not enthusiastic, not excited, not focused on accomplishing something in particular, not eager about the outcome. Sometimes the work isn't the most thrilling. I'll admit that. But the outcome is. So putting together the workshops, right? Sometimes like, really, I've already got all this stuff. Now I've got to update it. Now I've got to rebrand it for this particular workshop, you know, that sort of thing. Well, so what? That's just part of the deal. Do the work because it's already proving to be a success. So that's the outcome. It's worth it. So I can go from, see, it's that simple. I can go from, I just really don't want to, oh, yeah, okay. And sometimes I can do it for myself. Sometimes it takes somebody else saying it to me or hearing somebody else talk about their success and getting me motivated and say, yeah, I'm going to get back to what I know needs my attention and the things that I want to do and to accomplish. All right, seats open. If anybody wants to jump in and say, hey, you know, talk about, your thoughts about attitudes. What kind of process, if you went through one, any kind of process you went through to become success conscious? Are you success conscious? Or you just want to come on and talk about thinking differently, perspectives? How's the day going? Is it a good start to the day? How's that? No takers, huh? Well, you know, it's Tuesday. You're acting like it's Monday. Let's bring Susan in. Susan, there you are, my dear. How are you?
Hi.
Good to see you.
It's nice to see you too.
Been
I
a while.
was in and out. Yes, I've been busy, which is good.
Good.
But I missed a little bit of what you were saying, but you reminded me of a time long ago when I was a little bit obsessed with success, you know, when in my 20s, when I thought that I had to be a success. So, and I didn't think of success in the terms that I think of it now. In those days when I was young, I thought success meant, you know, I had to have a high-flying corporate job, or I had to have all the gear, you know, I had to look the part and I had to do all those things, and success wasn't going to be success unless it looked right. And it didn't take me very long to work it out that that isn't how it worked. And even if I had small failures, they became huge failures. So the idea of success moved further and further and further away. That was when I was young. And I think life teaches you about success and the consciousness of it. So as you get older, you experience different things. And I think you also grow into that consciousness of the definition, or your definition of what success feels like to you, because it feels different to everybody. My idea of success would not be someone else's idea of success now. So, but I heard what you were talking about also earlier when you were talking about people being ambivalent. So can you elaborate on that a little bit, Charlene?
Well, ambivalent simply means that you really don't have an opinion or a thought about something either way, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, well, that to me, if you meet somebody who regularly has that attitude, what it really means to me is that they pretty much are settling for mediocrity. They don't have,
But
they don't have a lot. They don't have really anything that I want. That's all. That's all. It's neither good nor bad. It's a recognition that that's all. I'm not saying anything's good, bad, right, or wrong. What I'm saying is that what works for me and what I'm attracted to. I'm attracted to real. I'm attracted to honest assessment. I'm attracted to thinkers. You know, if I'm going to be success conscious, it's because I've thought it through. I'm not attracted to cheerleaders, rah-rahs. You can do this because I say you can. I'm attracted to you can do this because I know you well enough to know that this skill you have is going to get you there. I know.
It's strange though, because I know some people who are quite successful, but their attitude seems to be one of ambivalence. Like, you watch them in their actions and you think, wow, they're really, they seem quite, but obviously they're not. But because otherwise they wouldn't be as successful.
Well, are they ambivalent, or are they calm in nature and simply approach without a big expression of emotion?
Yeah, true.
I mean,
it's hard to know.
Until I get to know somebody, I don't know for sure. I'm always accused of being too low-key. Those who know me say, all you have to do is look in your eyes, Charlene, and I know that you're blowing up inside about something. You're that excited, right? So attitude, I can see it. When I see somebody who is ambivalent, it's because not only is their body language saying it, but their words are saying it as well. They're saying, well, it's what difference does it make? Or is it really that important? Or, and in some instances, absolutely. I'm the same way. I'm that way about some things. It's the ones who are consistent. If you surround yourself with those who are mediocre, that's what you hear all the time. It's a level of settling and acceptance. I know this because I happen to live in an area that there are many like this. And then there are just as many. There aren't just as many, sorry. Then you have the group of the whiners and complainers who life is terrible because look at everything that's happening.
Yeah.
I hate this corporate job. I can't stand being here. Been there. All of that. And then you have a small handful who are, let's go do something about it. And we try to tell those who are really whining and complaining, and those who have settled about what it is we're doing. And one or two might be attracted, but they outnumber us. So there's that misery loves company kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they may not say they're miserable, and that's fine. I'm saying I see that as misery, and that's not what I want for myself. I'm not attracted to that.
So do you believe this quote? Do you believe that failure comes to those who indifferently allow themselves to become failure conscious? Yes.
I see it all the time.
It's the law of attraction,
It is.
isn't it?
That's what all of this is. I want to be a magnet for
Yeah.
those who want to move forward and succeed, even
Yeah.
if they're in part of the struggle right now. It doesn't mean that,
Yeah.
the anger, it doesn't take away anything about who you are and the obstacles that you're coming across. I was success conscious while I was in survival mode. It's what helped me get out of survival mode so I could keep going.
Absolutely.
Right? Keep
Absolutely.
going, and
I would
then finally, okay, we got. Now my thinking, when I look at the checkbook, when I look at what I'm working on, when I look at the bills, it's very different. It's very different than what it was a year ago, or 2 years ago, or 3.
Absolutely.
But I still
Absolutely
had
agree with that.
because I was still moving forward. I was still doing because I was still going after something. It was just the in the moments, because you're survival mode, having to do in the moments.
Sometimes it's the best time to do things.
Yeah, sometimes it's the worst. There's no best time. I was reading one of the most successful, one of those that are really successful in terms of business and personal life, that are associated with the Napoleon Hill Foundation in some form, says that never make decisions in the valley. And what's meant by that is you don't make big life-changing or business-changing decisions when you're desperate or when you're really down, because it's shadowed by that desperation. And the reasons for making the decision that you make are different. They're the ones to take care of the immediate, not the long term. How does it fit in my long term? Versus it's going to take care of me right now. And yes, sometimes you have to do that because of the survival mode. But honestly, if you know where you're going, I was saying no to things while I was in survival mode because I knew that it really wasn't in line. It was going to take me off in a completely different direction. And that's not what I needed. And by saying no, it kept open that time and that what little monies I had for investment. So when the appropriate things came in front of me, I could say yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And it also, that's all good, really good stuff. So, yeah, I totally agree with everything you're saying.
Well, you can come back anytime then.
Yeah.
Have you seen what the internet trolls look like? Did you see that, or did you just walk away? Because I can show you what they look like. Yeah,
No,
this is
I didn't see
all
it.
right, Ken, walk away, my friend. Please say yes. Ken, hide your eyes.
Please say yes.
Hide your eyes.
Please say yes, you've seen it.
Ken,
Oh, okay.
I'm warning you now.
Yes, I've seen it.
You have been warned. All right. So here's the deal. We all know about trolls, right? And we all know about them here, especially.
Mhm.
Well, many, many years ago, I got this. That's why it's hysterical. I love it. And I finally found it. And I said, I have got to share this with the Blab community. So I'm sharing it here on Morning Mindset. Happy to share it in any other Blabs that I'll be doing, and I will be over the next couple of weeks. But when the troll appears, and it looks so innocent, like a Twitter ID, this is what I want you to imagine. Now, no.
Did you make that, or did it arrive
I purchased
like
this
that?
in the early 90s.
Okay.
Early 90s. It's a
Are you
yes,
sure it was the
it's a
90s?
troll.
Okay.
Yes, it was in the
Wow.
90s. I know exactly where I got it. I was anticipating having a full collection of these trolls. It's all a natural made product. But yes, I
Wow.
got it in the 90s. So, and it says CompuTroll on it. See?
It
So
does.
now you know what to imagine the next
It's
time.
like a moustache
What?
gone wrong. It's like a
yeah.
moustache
Yeah.
that's gone wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. A double moustache.
Well, hair, that can be,
He's kind
that
of
can be a
cute.
cap. You know, I mean, let me see the side.
Yeah. You could grow
I
to
loved it
love
when I
them.
had it.
Love
you know,
that in
see,
a way.
it's all,
Yeah.
I thought
It's
so.
kind of cute.
Yeah, Ken saying we're in trouble starting has
He
discovered
doesn't
props.
scare
More will
me.
be revealed. But I thought this was the most appropriate because so many of them, with all the influx of new people there. When you see a troll, just think of that. That'll help your attitude. Instead of saying, "Oh, you're so annoying," saying, "I know what you look like," and just delete them.
And give him
There
a
you
little
go.
pet.
Yeah, a
And
little
then send him on his
a
way.
pet, and
Yeah.
then a little
A little
flick,
pet.
and there it goes.
Yeah. And I flick off the desk. Just push it off the desk.
There,
with
see, Ken
everything
saying
else.
ugly was in fashion in the 90s. Remember Cabbage Patch dolls?
The 90s were better than the 80s, though. Although I loved the 80s. Ugly was pretty in fashion
I
in the
was
80s
not
too.
fashion. Never. I'm not a trender.
No.
Can you tell? I
I
don't
wasn't a
normally just
trender
sell the
either, but
crowds,
that's what was good.
you know. But these have been around as far as I know. These have been around, and they are in multiple forms. There are 6-footers. There are 6-footers that are
Wow.
made like this. I know since the
Wow.
early 80s. Since the early 80s, because the area that I got it in, I had been going to since the early 80s, and it was in the 90s, early 90s that I picked that up. So,
Well, he's kind of cute,
so there you go.
I have to say. And if I do, I have seen the trolls in action, and they're quite
They
full
are.
on. But what I like is in a lot of the platforms now, you can actually block them fairly quickly.
Yeah, you can
So
do that here
it's
on
just a
Blab
matter
as
of
well. And Brian's saying you should have a troll button on the
Yeah.
screen. 4 or more hits on that button, it kicks person out of room. Yeah, that should be a normal part of any live stream. In this case, though, the algorithm that's created with Blab is if a particular ID has been kicked out and banned from rooms, you know, it counts how many times that particular ID has been banned, and then they're shut down. So, of course, they can always make a new one, and that's fine. But you know,
That's
if
good.
that's their life, if that's the
they
life
do.
they want. See, that's an attitude that could be looked at, and I hear
It is.
that could be viewed as a success attitude because persistence.
I was just going to say
work,
that.
right?
They would view it as being successful.
So I don't have to agree with what you consider to be successful. That's what you were saying earlier.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. What I view as being successful for me might not be what someone else views as me being successful. So, but I think the most important thing is that it is, you know, it's how I feel about it, or how you feel about your
so
success.
what? Ken's saying there should be some fun with it, an animation or the sound effect of the door slamming for when you ban somebody from Blab. I'll tell you what, this should pop up. Gotcha, Ken. Troll alert.
There should be that little thing. What was that cartoon show?
I'm doing it deliberately now.
You could just have it sitting on your shoulder, Charlene, like when you
that
next
could
time
freak
you
people out.
sitting
Do
up
not
there.
watch, Ken. Ken, you have been warned. So let's see what happens. Let's see.
What was that cartoon?
How am I going to get
Rocky
him
and
to stay?
Bullwinkle?
I don't know if I can.
There you go.
Will this work?
He looks happy up there. Happy.
He looks something. Good morning, Nathan.
He looks happy.
Good to see you.
Hi, Nathan.
Morning.
I'm not going to go to all that trouble,
You can
people.
get that thing to stay with some crazy glue.
And,
Yeah. Or some blue
and
tack,
then we have Ken.
Velcro.
Yeah. All right.
Hearing music or something.
Anyway, all right. So there's your
No,
internet.
that's
troll,
probably
Nathan.
me. I have background
I've been
noise.
showing everybody the internet troll.
Oh.
I know this because look on the bottom, it says CompuTroll. I've had it since the early 90s.
What is it?
It is an all-natural creation crafted by innovative crafters out of
It looks
Tennessee.
like a troll of some sort.
It is a troll. It's a CompuTroll. So I call it, it is now known as the internet troll. Yeah, I've had it for, there's the original tag. So,
Okay.
There.
Troll. Not that we.
yeah, now you know what they look like. Well, I'm just saying that now when they hit Blab, now we know what they really look like.
I was going to say, not that we don't have enough trolls online.
Yeah. But now we can help with our attitude about them. See, instead of being annoyed and really upset, we can now visualize this little guy and say, I know what you look like. It ain't pretty. Move on.
Well, I would just set him up in the appropriate position and get a slingshot, and just practice, do some target practice.
Could always do that too. Okay, Susan. Yeah, could do that as well.
Good
Again,
morning.
it's all about attitude. How do you look at it, right? If somebody's really
Attitude
getting
or
under your
altitude?
skin, if somebody's really getting under your skin, can you take a deep breath and change your attitude? Can you walk away?
It depends on the nature of what's going on, but usually, actually, come to think of it, this doesn't happen very much anymore to me.
They're
Very
getting
rarely.
under your skin. It's happening less to me, but I still have. So I can get drawn in and somebody can get under my skin sometimes.
I can't remember the last time I encountered a troll.
Oh.
Or
I
anything.
had a delightful one not too long ago. They don't come out this early. Just so you know. Hi, Catherine. Good to see you again. They tend not to come to my blab because it's early. They will if I do one at like noon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and definitely in the evening. I don't like Scope. I just don't like Periscope.
I've never used it. I
tried it.
I wanted to try.
I primarily don't like it because I don't care for just broadcasting. I like the interaction. I like knowing that my words matter. I like knowing that somebody's actually getting something out of what I say, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Catherine, that's normal time. 7 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Eastern. And we're wrapping up the first hour.
Yeah.
Usually recorded.
I knew I was coming in at the tail end of it, but I just thought I'd pay my respects, as the saying goes.
I'm so glad you do. How are you today?
I'm just a bit tired, but other than that, okay. It's very early for me here.
It is, but I'm not used to you being this tired when you come on. You're usually just a wee bit perkier. Not a whole lot, but a wee bit.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know. It's just been, last night was a very strange night. Just all this stuff cycling through my mind during my dreams, all this crap. And it just didn't seem to want to stop. I kept being conscious of dreaming about this or that. And it was all intense with mental stuff.
Right.
Well, part of what's going on is, like you, I've put together a show, but I'm not running it on Blab simply because it's too distracting for me to do what I want to do that way, because I'm just sitting in front of the camera and talking, and having comments popping up while I'm trying to do that isn't working very well. So one of my colleagues on here on Blab, a guy by the name of Tim Gillette, gave me a 30-day challenge.
Loved him.
Which was to create 30 shows in 30 days. And I've done 6 so far. And then last night I was on a really excellent webinar. I'd been invited by this woman I know, Teresa de Groba. And,
that sounds familiar.
And it was by 2 guys, Steve Olsher, I think his name, and Alex Mandosian, doing something called Push Button
excellent.
Martin. Yeah.
That's what
Do you
I
know
thought.
about that?
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Good stuff. No,
Oh,
I only have time for just so much.
yeah, I believe it.
I must stay focused on the path I'm on.
But yesterday, what happened is they did the webinar, and then they offered a free download of 241 influencers and all their contact information and everything else. I'm going to start going through that because, and they give a checklist for how to interact with these people, and I'm going, yes, no, 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 yes, no, and it's like that, looking through the material, and I'm going, oh, well, thank you for telling me exactly what I need to do in order to make this work. And by doing what they've done, they've saved me a boatload of work.
Love that.
So yeah,
Love
just
that.
really amazing what I saw. And of course, it's part of a funnel for what these guys are doing, but that one step for me was enormous. And of
Well,
course,
Alex Mandossian is just an incredible marketer and has been. He's been a creator of fantastic products. He has been a successful internet marketer for many years.
you know,
He knows how it's done. He's good at what he does. And every single, that's why I don't go to every one of his webinars simply because I'm going to get thrown off again. I'm going to get thrown off. You know, he was one of those shiny objects for me. He always gives quality. He
yeah.
always gives quality.
Yesterday, one could have said it could be like a shiny object syndrome, but not for me. It was exactly in line with what I'm doing.
Mhm.
And I thought,
Well, see, I've been invited to have my own radio program and, you know, on internet radio, and been asked if I'd be interested in doing a podcast. I'm not interested in podcasting because there's so little engagement. And I have to have.
That's true.
That's what I tried to tell them. I said, I have to know that what I'm saying matters. I just, otherwise, why do I wait? That honestly, it's how I work.
I don't even know how you would measure
how?
engagement on a podcast. I have a podcast, a couple of them, but I rarely pay attention to them. I've set it up. Well, it's not automatic. But I've set it up in such a way that it's really easy to make it work.
Yeah.
So it's not terribly complicated. And if I do it that way, then it's fine.
Again, it's, you know, when I was talking with somebody about I had that Blog Talk radio program for a year or so. And I enjoyed it because I was doing it with somebody else. And occasionally we would get a caller and we would have interaction in the chat room. That's what kept me going, was the interaction in the chat room.
Yeah.
And because it's something I'm trying to break myself of. It's very, very difficult. I never remember a time I didn't think like this, which is, if you're interested in what I have to say, you're going to tell me. And if you're not interested, you're going to tell me. Disinterest to me is non-engagement. So then I guess I don't have a reason to be talking. So and I hear people all the time telling me I should be doing shows about this, this, and this, because in private conversations or discussions like this, they're telling me how much I have to give and offer. And I said,
yeah,
but nobody's asking for it.
Yeah, if somebody offered me a radio show, I'd take it in a second. But then again, that's my goal, is to reach as many people as possible.
You want an internet radio show, or do you want...
no, I want a real radio show and a real television show, both.
Okay.
I want to reach, well, I'm after millions of people. So if I'm doing that, I've got to have a much broader audience. But what's been interesting is I started doing my show. It's where I'm just sitting in front of the camera with my little handy dandy webcam here. And the other thing too is that I can monitor what my background looks like better than I can with Blab. With Blab, sometimes I get my mic interfering anyway. But I'm already getting engagement. I don't have much of an audience yet because it just started, but it was really bizarre. Well, I already have a bunch of subscribers, and a number of hits from previous videos I did. Like I did a video a few years ago on 3 steps to end adult bullying.
Mhm.
And much to my surprise, the engagement is going up, and I'm getting all sorts of comments from people, and people ask me, how do I do this? How do I do that? But but the numbers are still really small, and too
See,
small
you
for
have
me.
you have a goal to reach millions.
Yeah.
I have a goal to reach hundreds.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's fine.
that's. I mean, it'd be nice if I reached millions, but it's not. What's important to me is that in the hundreds, that tells me that there is a community that I'm a part of now, and
Yeah.
that
Yeah, for me, the millions
that
part.
believes, I guess, thinks like I do, or at least wants to wants to learn a little different and from each other. And yes, that's it, Susan. The different versions of success.
Yeah.
And neither one is good, neither one is bad, neither one is right, neither one is wrong.
It's
Very
actually
personal
funny
about why we do what we do.
Yeah. When I started this, I didn't have the millions goal. Actually, I had a couple of celebrities popping in my life, and one of them was saying to me, "You're shooting too small. Your
Yeah.
message is too big for an audience like this." It's like start here, but aim real high. And
Well,
I didn't know that when I started. I didn't realize that I knew my goal was big, but I didn't realize until he told me what I needed to be doing. It's like, oh, okay. So I'm doing the 30-day challenge, and if I don't get picked up at the end of that, then I'm going to switch to maybe a bi-weekly show where I'm interviewing celebrities.
right.
And I know how to do that. I know how to get them. So we'll see. Oh, yeah. Nothing wrong with aiming high, but bloody well hope not. Well, it's
Well, hopefully you'll be here later in the week. I've got something about why is the sky the limit? Or there is something like that. I think that'll be a fun morning. I'm going to shut the recording down though.
okay.
So let me end that, and then I can keep the room open for a while because I'm loving the discussion.
Yeah, well, hold on a sec. I just want to grab a coffee, but I'm going to make one last comment before you shut it down, which was something I read somewhere. It is better to shoot for the stars and hit an eagle than shoot for an eagle and hit a rock.
How's
Something
that for
like
an
that.
attitude?
Coffee
Love
time.
that. Love that.
It's not my quote. I can't take any credit.
We're still going to take it. We'll take it.
I'm borrowing, like yesterday was so amazing.
Share the good stuff.
Webinar. I need to watch it again. It was that good. And fortunately, they put up a replay. Anyway, I'll be back.
Okay. So I want to thank everybody who's joined me in the live stream. Thank you in the comment section. As always, you've contributed to a terrific discussion this morning. Those watching the replay, hey, thanks for hanging with us this long. This is Charlene Burke with Grow Because You Know. That's www.growbecauseyouknow.com. Let's move forward with the day on purpose with purpose to grow our hearts, grow our minds, and grow our businesses. Until next time, have a great day.